Assalamu alaikum everybody. I already did a video today and I wasn't going to do another video. Kind of feeling bad about not doing too many scholarly or helpful videos, more own personal agenda videos. But also in the wake of the bombing in Iraq, I was kind of thinking maybe today we will do a video entitled Sunni versus Shia. What is the difference? Okay, or I should say Islam, Sunni, Shia Islam for newbies. Now, on this line, I am not going to sit here and give you quotes from hadith. I'm not going to give you Quran quotes. I am going to be reading some passages from some books, and anybody who's interested in reading more or finding out more, I can give you plenty of, I can give you a bibliography. But this is the for dummies version. I'm not going to say for dummies though, because I think that's kind of demeaning. I mean, I know it's supposed to be cute, but so, you know, for newbies. Okay, Sunni and Shia. Okay, now, first of all, I identify as a Sunni Muslim. 80% of the world, of the Muslims in the world identify as Sunni Muslims, and a small percentage are Shia. The majority of Shia Muslims are in Iran and that Persian area. So, okay, what is the difference? Now, some things are different now in practicing, and as Sunni Muslim, you hear a lot of rumors, and until I started reading more this past week after this bombing, I did not know some things, whether they were rumors or true or what it was. Okay, so let me give you basic breakdown if you do not know anything about beginnings of Islam. Okay, after our Prophet, peace be upon him, died, there was a question as to who should succeed him. Ali, who was his dearest cousin, who was he was raised in the same household and was married to his daughter Fatima, or Abu Bakr, who is Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her father, and also Muhammad's closest confidant. So the two closest men to Muhammad were in question for who would become the leader of the Muslims after this. And there's so much politics involved and so much story involved. I'm just going to say, in the end, they elected Abu Bakr. And a lot of people were upset and felt it should have been Ali. That the house of the Prophet was where it belonged at the time, where Islam belonged at the time. Ali held by the decision himself. He followed also, but this is where the divide began. Is who they were supposed to follow. So after Abu Bakr, there was Umar and Uthman, and then Ali was finally elected to become caliphate. So he was the fourth rightfully guided caliphate of Islam. Okay. Meantime, so he was assassinated. It was a lot of turmoil time for Muslims at this period after Muhammad died. Peace be upon him. Okay, so first of all, there was some animosity between Ali and Aisha, who was also Abu Bakr's daughter. And I don't want to go into all that right now either. And again, and then also when Abu Bakr took over, he said that the Prophet, peace be upon him, has said that his property and all of his things should not go to his family, that they should be donated to charity. So he took away all of the home and the money and everything from all of Muhammad's family, which would include Ali and Fatima and their children. Okay, so moving past this, Muhammad, peace be upon him, had two grandsons through Ali, Hussein and Hassan. So Hussein and Hassan, obviously they're living through all this, and after Ali dies, another person who was the first one who wasn't one of the caliphs, who was the first person to cause a lot of division. I don't want to get into all of this either, but I don't know if I can say the name, do the name justice. Muawiyah is how I'm going to pronounce his name. He became the king. He did a lot of bad, horrible things. He was an iron ruler, you know, that kind of person. So Meantime, Ali's sons had made his son Hassan had made a deal with him that he would not bring war against the people who were increasingly his supporters versus the mainstream Islam supporters. He said he would not bring war. He was poisoned and died, and his brother Hussein took over, basically in charge of this sect of people. Okay, well, Muawiyah dies, and his son, who by all accounts nobody wanted at that time, takes over, and they feel like he's very corrupt, and he is not. He's not a good Muslim. He's very, as far as a lot of people are concerned, he's a very bad person. He should not be in charge. Okay, and again, people also believe that the family of the Prophet, peace be upon him, should be leading. Okay, so the Battle of Karbala, which is the hugest point for Shia Muslims even today, and as a Sunni, we also celebrate. That's bad. We also observe the holiday of Ashura too, the 10 days. And okay, so let me explain what happened. So this is the defining moment of Shiahood, their biggest tragedy, and the one that causes a lot of questions worldwide. Is okay, so Hussein, I'm going to read some of this off of online because I don't want to get too many people mad at me for not understanding all this. But basically, so Hussein had a bunch of supporters in the city, which I think is, I'm looking at my thing, is Kufa. The elite supporters there gave their allegiance to Hussein. Hey, you can go fight this guy, we'll take care of you. Well, meantime, they were a force that Muawiyah's son Yazid, I'm bad with Arabic names still, but Yazid found out what was going on, and he sent people in to take over the town and basically told them, you are not supporting him, this is not happening, that's it. And even though Hussein had learned about this, he basically gave this great speech and said, everybody's day to die is already written. I can't change it by not going out to do this. So he tries to go to Kufa, or it's into Iraq. He tries to migrate into Iraq. So they go, and they bring the women and children too. Everybody's there. Almost all of Hussein's family, almost all of the these descendants of Ali, they're almost all there. So of course they're attacked, and then one of the first things is that they were ordered, the troops against them were ordered not to let them be able to get to the water. So many people died from dehydration. There was no water for 10 days. So in this case, before he made it there, of course, when he comes to the city, they capture Hussein, and he's basically, he's had a lot of things done to him, stabbed, beaten, all those things. Well, all this is going on, Hussein asked to be able to say a last prayer, and while he's in prayer, his head is chopped off, and he's murdered this way. So this is kind of the worst story of Karbala you're ever going to hear. I know I'm terrible. I'm just trying to make it short and not too complicated, and maybe I'm making it more complicated. So anyway, nowadays when you see these pictures of places like Iran and Iraq where they have the Shias that are all dressed in black that beat themselves with and cause themselves to bleed and stuff, that has to do with the penance of the people of Kufa who turned their back on him even though they were his people, and that's their penance, more or less, that we're sorry, we would die for you. So that's what that's about. That's the brief place where all this Shia Sunni stuff comes into play. The Sunni forces led by this Yazid, and the Shia forces led by the grandson of Muhammad, peace be upon him, Hussein. Now, okay, let me see my notes here to make sure I don't screw up anything too bad. Okay, so nowadays, obviously there's a lot of different opinions. You see these radical fundamentalists, what they call themselves, fundamentalists, whatever. These terrorists, like the people who exploded bombs in Iran last week, excuse me. They not only don't believe the Shia are actually Muslims, and that's their justification. They don't believe even a Sunni who don't practice exactly like them are Muslims either. So even though the Quran, well, aside from commanding not to kill innocents, it also commands specifically that you cannot kill another Muslim, and that there's no forgiveness for this. They do not consider themselves another Muslim, or us Muslims, and they definitely don't consider the Shias Muslims. So the Shia-Sunni battles have been for 1,400 years. It's a long difference of opinion there. So what do they do differently? I heard things bad and good. I hear all these rumors, and I've started asking friends who are Shia lately about some things because it didn't sound right to me. Some of the little, in some ways, in every way actually. Okay, so Sunni Muslims, just like Christians, are told silly little things or twisted things about people, about Muslims. Also, Sunni people come up with some, or have been told some things that aren't always true about Shias, I've learned. But some things I knew before this week, little things like, for instance, Shia, in Sunni Muslim, the official line, of course, is anti-homosexuality, anti-tattoo. I mentioned those two things because specifically in most sects of Shiaism, they are not haram. Those are actually okay. So there is one big modern day difference that would make that I don't think so bad at all. I think that makes sense. One thing I don't like is most of the Shia women I've met are required to wear only like black or white or brown or drab colors and no makeup because they take the modesty thing one step further that way, that any kind of enhancements or anything to draw attention to yourself would be against your modesty. So I don't like that. I like the other things, but that's on you to know how you feel and what you pray for and what you find in your heart. But so, okay, things that I was told, that I found this little list online, actually 9 misconceptions about Shias, and I'm going to read them really quick because several of them were things that I was taught since becoming a Muslim or told, and like, again, I didn't believe a lot of them. I hear things all the time. I hear they don't believe, they believe that Ali was a prophet. They don't believe, they pray to Ali, things like this. And okay, just so there's things that I've heard that I didn't believe from the get-go about Shias, and I have some Shia friends, but not close friends, as in, like, I have Facebook friends who are Shia, and then also some authors I've read that are Shia that are interesting, and some people I had met before becoming Muslim. So, okay, so I'm going to read these 9 misconceptions about Shia Muslims for those of us who might have heard these things. And one is Shia Muslims don't pray to God. And then they pray instead to Ali or Hussein, which of course is not true. The belief of all Muslims is one God, and they pray to Allah 5 times a day. Okay, 2, Shia Muslims have a different Quran. They said it's easier to disprove, but it's highly popular misconception. You can walk into any Shia mosque and find the exact same Quran that you find in any Sunni mosque. It's the same Quran. Okay, 3, Shia Muslims don't pray the 5 prayers a day. Okay, they apparently, I did not know this until I had read this article, but they still believe in the 5 prayers a day, but they consolidate it into 3 times a day, but pray the 5 prayers. And this has to do with a Quran verse that they interpret to mean that they're supposed to pray 3 times a day. Fine, okay. I pray 3 times a day, but that's basically because I work and I have to do makeup prayers. So I guess I kind of do that anyways. And also I had been told before that they don't even, a Shia Muslim doesn't even have to pray, which is obviously not true. So moving on, number 4, Shia Muslims pray to a rock. The article says this misconception comes from the fact that Shia Muslims pray on a torba, a round piece of hardened clay that one touches to the forehead during sujood. To those of you who aren't Muslims, sujood is when your face and nose are touching the ground. So Shia uses this rock because they feel that their foreheads must touch the natural earth like the Prophet, peace be upon him, did at the time, and that keeps the prayer natural and as original as possible. Okay, number 5, Shia Muslims love only Imam Ali and Imam Hussein and not Prophet Muhammad. It says this accusation is very common and clearly shows a lack of knowledge. Shia Muslims have pride in loving the Prophet as well as loving his family. Loving the Prophet means to love his family as well. It says we also love, aside from loving the Prophet, peace be upon him, they also love Imam Hussein, Fatima, Hassan, and the rest of the family. So they just believe that part of loving the Prophet means that you should love his family. And when we say our prayers, my mind's not even coming to how it goes now, but you pray Abrahamic prayer, if I'm saying that right. But so every rak'ah I pray for the family of Muhammad and the descendants of Muhammad. That's in my prayer as a Sunni, so I don't really know why that would be an issue. Okay. 6, Shia Muslims focus too much on Imam Hussein. That's going into that thing is that they commemorate his life and they go to pay homage to his grave in Karbala, and this person makes the point that aside from Hajj, which we go to play at Kaaba, they also go to make this pilgrimage to where he died for Ashura, which is what I was talking about, the 10 days where we also have a remembrance for him. And it says, as well as Shia Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists, Hindus, and Sunni Muslims also commemorate his life and stand against injustice. In other words, he still is considered a hero and a martyr for what happened. So other people also commemorate his death. Okay. It says 7, Shia Muslim don't rely on hadiths or have unreliable hadiths. Okay. It says to begin with, how to pray. The method of praying is completely based on hadiths for Sunni and Shia both. Well, I combined that word. So of course, if you say it's Shia and didn't follow the set of leaders that as Sunnis we tend to follow, of course, some of those things you're going to say are unreliable. So I think saying that they don't rely on hadiths or have unreliable hadiths is because we don't always agree on the same hadiths. I've had discussions before on here. I don't always agree with the hadiths in that other people follow anyway. So okay, that's not a big deal, I think. Misconception number 8: Shia Muslims hate all Sunni. Wow, my speech. Shia Muslims hate all Sunnis or other non-Shia Muslims. Again, that's one of those things that obviously people use to divide, just like saying all Muslims hate Christians, even though we believe in the same prophets, with the exception of one, even though it says that they're the people of the book and all that. So saying Shias hate Sunni Muslims or all others is that you can see easily that's just racially dividing. I guess racially is not the word to put it, but you know, it's a divisive thing that people would say. That's easy to figure out. 9, all Shia Muslims are from Iran or support the Iranian government. It says most people don't even realize they're making this conception. Okay, there are Shia in Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Iraq, Morocco, Nigeria, in South Africa, India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, in Turkey, in Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore. There are Shia Muslims in every single continent on earth. Okay, so that's an obvious too, because at the beginning of this I said that I know some Sunnis from America, some Shias from America. If I wasn't already 20 minutes into this, I think it would restart because I can't seem to use my words properly today. So anyway, all Shias are not Iranian. And I guess that's an obvious thing, just like the last one. So, okay, that was that article. I read a few other ones. I told you there's been some crazy, I've heard crazy things. I do know little things also, like their call to prayer, their azan is a little bit different because it commemorates Ali also. And I'm not going to be the judge of how you worship, so I won't make a comment either way on how I feel about that, but I believe that we're all Muslims and we need to stand together and not stand apart. And I believe that these people who hate Shias and are blowing up Shias are the same people that would hate me for some of the things I say, and should hate the majority of the Muslim world except for people like them. So I hope that helps a little bit with your understanding of it, not confusing more. I'm sometimes confusing and sometimes I'm brilliant. So you take your pick how I was today. Good night. It's very late. I'll see you later. Bye.